Hey everybody, it's Mr. Carr again. Today we're going to be talking about 4B Day 3, graph applications. And what the idea with today is we're going to be looking at our linear functions and kind of determine a little bit more information about them, especially when there's context. Okay, so we'll stick with our slope-intercept form, and we're kind of understand a lot of those things that come up with that. So let's start breaking down some of these. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, now we're back. So we're gonna look at example 1 here. So we have Tanya has $100 saved in a bank account. Then she gets a job working at Starbucks and earns $50 a week. So we'll highlight some of the stuff. $100 saved, $50 a week, which she decides to put her whole paycheck in the bank account. The equation that models the situation is y equals 100 plus 50x, where y is how much is in the account, x is the number of paychecks. Okay. So what was the initial amount in the bank account? So another way of describing our initial amount would be calling it the y-intercept. Okay, so if I look at that equation, remember, it's not in the same order as y equals mx plus b, but this is my b value. Okay, so since b is equal to 100 in this scenario, that's my initial amount. Now for context, that means that Tanya started with $100. What is the rate at which the account is increasing? So this rate, remember we talked about that as a rate of change. As we read through this scenario, we kind of identify what is changing. Well, the amount here, the amount's going to change based on the number of paychecks. And every time that changes, it's changing by 50. So the rate of change is also the slope. So in this case, that was 50. Okay, so that is, so the account increases by $50 per paycheck. So when we do these rates, we want to make sure we understand that it's one thing is changing in terms of another. So the account is increasing by $50 for every paycheck. Okay, so we're getting that context to add on to it. Fill in the table for how much is in our account. So week 0, that's our initial starting time. She's starting with 100. Okay, for the rest of this is pretty straightforward because I don't need to calculate stuff out if we're just going to add $50 every time. So that's going to be 150. That'll be 200, 250, 300, 350, and then 400. So after 6 paychecks, you should be expecting $400 in the account. All right, so graph the line from above, label your axis and y-intercept. So let's start with labeling. This is my x value, and this is going to be my y value. So we got weeks, okay? And then I'll tilt sideways a little bit here for amount in dollars, okay? So if we start here at 0, and then we count out, we got 6 weeks on here. So I've got space to do that pretty much every 2, I would say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. In the rest of it, if I want to start at 0, 0, I could, but I don't have to. Okay. So I'm going to start my y-axis. Let's just start, that's pretty low here. Let's just go a little bit under 100. Let's go 50. So 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350, and 400. Okay, so couple things to mention. The space between each of these is always the same. So I counted two lines for every 1 week. Same thing in the y direction. Every space here was worth 50. Okay, so you need to be consistent with your axes. Okay, all right, so still got to plot these points. So I got 0, 100, and then 1, 150, and then so on here. Okay, all right. Yeah, we'll just do that. Oh, and label the y-intercept. That's the y-intercept right there. In this scenario, I don't have an x-intercept. We're not going to go further this way because that'll be negative time and eventually crossing to be negative dollars. That's not what's happening here. Okay, what does the slope represent in this example? It is, the slope here is the amount increase per paycheck. Okay, so again, that is $50. Okay, so we should say it's increasing $50 per paycheck is the idea. What does the point 300 represent? Okay, so we look at the context. 4 is the number of weeks, 300 is the amount that's in the account. So after 4 weeks, Tanya has $300 in the account. Okay, and that's it. We're just interpreting that context based on what's happening here in this scenario. Okay, but we're still doing X and Y coordinates, and we're talking about Y-intercepts. So initially she started with $100, and then the slope here is just the fact that she can add $50 per paycheck. All right, example 2. Sorry, yeah, last example here. Okay, Courtney has been feeding her cat Rocket way too much food. One day, Kylie decides to weigh him and finds that he is 27 pounds. She puts him on a strict diet. Since then, Rocket has been losing 3 pounds per month. So 3 pounds per month, currently 27 pounds. All right, that is my initial amount. Okay, so we can say that 27 pounds for the initial amount. The rate is losing 3 pounds every month. Okay, so it's losing. So we're actually kind of doing minus 3 pounds per month. Okay, so we didn't say it. I guess we can kind of, we'll stick with this for now. Okay, so we got month for X, Rocket's weight for Y. 0 month 0 at the very beginning, Rocket weighed 27 pounds. 1 month later, that's minus 3. So the idea would be I could just take 3 away here, give me 24 pounds. Okay, and I go another month, minus 3 is 21 pounds. I'm just going to continue that pattern on and on and on. So minus 3 again is 18, 15, and 12. Okay, so graph the line from above, label your axis and the y-intercept. So again, we're going to start with labeling. X is month, so I'll just say months on here. And then this is weight in pounds. Okay. For months, we'll start at 0 here, and then I'll do the same thing every one there. Okay, and we got to go up to 27. So I kind of like to look at this one. I say it's here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I can do this. I'm going to actually count at 0, 0. I'm going to go 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27. So this time I made my scale counting by 3s. Okay, every space is 3 here. So we can plot our points. We got 0, 27, 1, 24, 2, 21, 3, 18, 4, 15, and 5, 12. Okay, and so that's what is, we can kind of track Rocket's weight loss going that way. Okay, my y-intercept is right here at 0, 27, and that's it for step D here. What does the slope represent in this example? Okay, Rocket is losing 3 pounds per week. That's what we're showing with our slope idea. Okay, so again, we are changing in pounds. All right, I said week, month. It's kind of a lot of weight loss if it's per week. Okay, so for every month, okay, every month Rocket is losing 3 pounds is what we're saying here. What does the point 221 represent? So that is 221 right here. Okay, after 2 months, Rocket weighs 21 pounds. Okay, and that is it. So we're just interpreting some of our slope intercept stuff. We're trying to understand how rate relates to the real life context here. What it really boils down to is your change in Y has context, your change in X has context. So in this case, my slope was changing in weight per months. The earlier one was changing dollars per weeks. Okay. So yeah, that's what we're looking at for our context and just making sure we understand some of those things, especially like y-intercept, that's initial amount. So we can say, for this example, she starts with $100 in her bank account. Rocket starts at 27 pounds. Okay, didn't cover any x-intercepts ones, but that could still apply there. So that's it for today. Take care.